Those of us who have lost close family or friends know that the holidays can be especially difficult. Well, Brian Nickerson and Scarlet Whalen from Dignity Memorial are here with how we can honor our loved ones that we may have lost during this time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, how are people honoring those that they have loved and lost during the holidays?
Well, we've had various remembrance ceremonies throughout the month, and all of our Dignity locations provide some type of remembrance ceremony. But most importantly, our cemeteries are where they can really honor their loved ones by our flower placement, as well as our family remembrance dove trees. And so we're here to talk about that this morning.
Scarlett, I think we're going to dive into that and how the entire family can get involved to really remember those.
Right, so many of our Dignity Memorial providers offer something that we refer to as a remembrance tree. And there are some variations among the locations on how this is celebrated, but the purpose is the same, and that's to honor our loved ones who have passed. Some locations may have craft tables set out with different ornaments. Some might be clear balls where you can place a picture inside. Others are more like this dove, where it's blank, it's a blank canvas, and children especially can decorate it, which I think those are of course the most fun. And then they are hung on the trees and they're kept there until after Christmas. And then the back is where families can put their information. Okay. And then our staff will get them to the families after the holidays.
And we actually have a little mini tree over here with some already decorated doves.
Yes.
I think this would be a great way for children especially to maybe deal with grief.
It especially is. And children, I don't think that we give children the outlets that we give adults in a lot of ways to cope with their grief and work through those feelings. And these kind of projects, I think, especially allow them to express themselves and find some closure.
Now, are all the ornaments going on one tree, or does it matter where we're putting them? Maybe somewhere special to each family?
I think every family can make that decision. Some families take these items home right away and put them on their Christmas tree. Some help or decide to leave them at the location until after the holidays. We allow families to kind of make that option.
I think it's something that's very, very special, especially if you're still dealing with that grief. And even if you're maybe beyond that grief, some way to continue that remembrance. And also, let's talk about these locations that we can get the doves and put them on the remembrance tree.
Right, so we have several locations. Some have already had some celebrations throughout the year, and some have these remembrance trees in the location now. So you can see on the screen we have Laurelland Dallas, Grove Hill, Laurelland Fort Worth, and Shannon Rose Hill.
And when it's all over, what's next?
The locations then have the option of sending them back to the families. The families can actually come by and pick them up, and then we can actually store them for next year at the locations to put them back on the trees.
And I hear you even laminate them.
Yes, we do laminate them.
Now, would you say this would be maybe a good tradition for families to start year after year to continue that remembrance?
Yes, and it also lets our families know that we actually care about them and their loved ones, and keeps the relationship and building one of our core values, which is enduring relationships throughout the year.
Perfect. Well, thank you for the good information. And even this might be a little harder for you, something that might be a little fresh, or maybe something that might have happened a few years ago. You're dealing with it in a different way, but still nonetheless a great way to remember. There's also flowers for loved ones to remember. Also, you had mentioned that earlier in the segment about flower placement.
Flower placement within our cemeteries. There's pamphlets where you can actually get the information, and they can be put in during the anniversaries, along with helping yourselves during the anniversary and the grief process during the holidays. And so therefore we have pamphlets that'll help you and information that will help you through these times.
Thank you for coming in. Great information. You can call 214-357-5754 for more on the events that we just mentioned, or you can stop by one of the locations that Scarlett and Brian mentioned. Dignity Memorial has 32 locations across DFW.